Let me introduce you.
Let's do it, hey, let's do it, come on, let's do it, hey, let's do it, come on. Hey, how are you doing? Hope you are doing well, hope you are doing great. So welcome to another video. Listen, I'm still recovering from our trip to Nigeria. Even though it feels like the trip was quite short, and it actually was just 2 weeks, it feels like I spent forever preparing for that trip, and now it's taking forever for me to get back to my routine, you know, to my usual self. Even my sleep schedule is completely messed up. I'm still waking up early, I'm still jet lagged, I'm still tired. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Today is story time. Listen, if you've never heard my stories, I'm quite the storyteller, if I might say so myself. So today I'm going to tell you the story of how a celebrity landed or ended up in our hotel room. And I'm telling you, it was just crazy, okay? This happened when we were back in Nigeria, okay? And I purposely saved this story time because I wanted to calm down to give you the story. I wanted you to enjoy the vlogs, then I'll sit down to tell you the story. So this happened back when we were in Akure, Ondo State, Nigeria, right? We were at our hotel room. My husband, Tosin, had gone out, I think, to get food for us or something. I think this was at about 8 p.m. at night on that particular day. So he returned, and at the door, you know, he knocked and everything. I opened the door, and the first thing he said was, "Oh, that's your friend." And I was like, who? Like, I was looking at him like, keep in mind, at this point, I'd showered, I'd changed into my nightwear, I was ready for bed. So I was like, who is your friend? And he was still standing at the door. And he was like, that your friend, Shatawale. I was not like, Shatawale is a Ghanaian musician. I don't know Shatawale. He was not like, no, that guy that you liked. I was like, wait, Ibrahim Chata. He said yes. I was like, what? So I looked, and the person had entered, like just as I looked, the person entered into a hotel room, into one of the rooms just down the hall. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? You know, and he was like, no, I was trying to tell you now. So let me put it in perspective for those who don't know who Ibrahim Chata is. Ibrahim Chata is a big time Nigerian actor. Is mainly known for being a Yoruba actor, but he's done a couple of English Nollywood movies as well. He's been in the industry for years. I've been a fan of his for over a decade. I'm telling you, like, listen. He's one of my favorite Nigerian actors, hands down. He's just so good. He's so talented. The way he interprets his characters every single time is, you know, there are talents and there are talents. He is a talent. And I'm a firm believer in his talent. I follow him on Instagram. So that's who he is. Now back to that night at the hotel room. Why this was interesting was because 4 days before that night at the hotel room, just 4 days before, he had followed me on Instagram. Like, he followed me back. So of course I'd been following him for years, but he followed me back because I commented on a post he did with a friend of mine, and my friend had said, oh, that's my friend, you know, to him. And so he checked out my page, realized I was following him and that I'd been following him for years, and decided to follow me back. And because that happened, I'm telling you, this happened like 4 days before that night at the hotel. So because when that happened, if you follow me on Instagram, then you'd know that I went like ballistic on my Instagram stories, talking about how, like, I love this man, you know, his performances, his acting. I'm just such a fan. And the fact that he just followed me back on Instagram, and I was screaming like, you know, whatnot. So that had happened on Instagram, and he also likes like a lot of my posts. You know, when you follow someone afresh on Instagram recommends a lot of your posts to that person, and he liked a lot. So I could tell that he had seen a lot of my content and everything, and he liked them. You know, so I was like, yo! So I was freaking out on my Instagram page 4 days prior, whilst we were still in the US, right? Fast forward 4 days later, in Akure, Ondo State, my husband was telling me that, oh, he just saw Ibrahim Chatta. And I was like, you know, so he entered, obviously I couldn't have followed him because he entered into possibly his hotel room. So I shut our door and I was telling my husband that, what kind of thing is that? Like, you're supposed to rush and tell me, why did you wait for him to go? And then you're not like, oh, I saw your friend. Or what? It was not like, no, he didn't remember the name that he was trying to tell me that I should follow him now. I was like, no, for real, legit. My husband was like, oh, I should follow him. I was like, follow him to where? To his hotel room? And how would you feel if someone randomly knocked on our hotel door, on our room door? That it doesn't look good. You know, it doesn't look good. Like, why would I do that? You know, so, but I was pained because I just couldn't believe that I almost met him and then I missed him. But I guess my husband could tell from my reaction I was a bit disappointed, not a bit, yeah. I was quite disappointed. And I kept talking about it like, you should have told me. And I was like, should I go look for him? That's what I told my husband. I was like, should I go look for him? And he was like, I should go now. You know, so, but I was just like, So what I did was to step outside the door again. So there were some staff, hotel staff, doing some work, I guess, doing whatever in the hallway. So when they saw me peep again, they now said, yes, he's the one. Because they figured I was trying to confirm if that was really Ibrahim Chatta or not. So they laughed and said, yes, he's the one. I was like, oh my gosh. So I went back inside. Remember, I told you I had changed into my nightwear and everything. I changed back into one of my dresses, got dressed again. I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna go try my luck and see if I can find this man. So I walked down the hotel hallway. With the floor our room was on, it had like some sort of arc where if you peep down, you can see the reception, right? So, oh yeah, no, I'd not changed at this point. I was still in my nightwear. Yes, I was still in my nightwear, but I walked down. So I peeped from that arc place at the hotel, looked down, and I saw him having a chat with someone at the reception. So that was what made me go back. So I ran back to the room and then I got changed into, you know, proper dress. I was not looking like, you know, I just rolled out of bed or something. So I changed into a proper dress and I was like, okay, is that the reception? I'm gonna go. So I was like, yeah, go for it. So guess what? I got down to the reception and he was no longer there. I was like, fada. He was no longer there. You know, so I looked around and then I heard his voice. It was right outside the door, the entrance into the hotel. So I followed his voice. I know this was at night, by the way, you know, but you gotta do it, you gotta do it. So I followed his voice and just as I stepped out, I saw him. I saw Mr. Ajayemi, Toyin Abraham's husband, is also a Nollywood actor. Yes, Toyin Abraham Ajayemi, Mr. Kolawole Ajayemi. Yes, I saw him. I saw him and I saw Ibrahim Chatta having a conversation outside. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I was looking for one. I found double for my troubles. You know, so just as I stepped out, our eyes connected and I was like, oh, good evening, sir. And then he said, good evening. You know, he looked at me, he smiled because he thought I was greeting him like as a random fan. He didn't immediately recognize me. Remember, I said it was at night. So, you know, but as I stepped closer, then he decided to look and I was like, good evening. My name is Adenike. You just followed me on Instagram like a couple of days ago. And he was like, yes, why are you here? It was so funny the way his mind he did a 360. It was like, what? Why are you here? Because he knew that, okay, we were based outside Nigeria, right? So it was like, why are you here? I was like, oh yeah, that my husband's dad just turned 18. There's a party and yada yada. It was not like, where is your husband? I was like, he's upstairs in the room. He said, where is your son? I said, he's upstairs in the room. And he grabbed my hand. How was I standing? Yes, I'll stand like this. So my right hand, yes. He grabbed my hand, turned to Kolawole Ajemi and said to him that, let's go. We are going to see this guy, you know. And he was talking about me and I was like, I could not believe it. Like the way he grabbed my hand, it was like, let's go and greet your husband, let's go and greet your son, you know. And so he grabbed my hand and then we started walking back into the hotel room. Like people were looking at us, you know. Someone even made a random comment. I think one of the guys that was with them, you know, made a random comment like, oh, is the party getting started? Or just something very random like that. I was just like, who do you think I am? You know, but he didn't answer the person. He just kept, you know, talking to me, smiling with me, and then he was telling Kolawole Ajay, I mean, who I was, and he is so pleasant. Like, he is the most pleasant. He was just so, both of them were just so nice and so kind and so warm, you know. So we went back upstairs, went through the stairs. We didn't even take the elevator, and he was talking, and he was so excited to see me. And I was like, and then I knocked on our hotel door, and my husband opened the door laughing. I guess he could already hear our voices. I opened the door laughing, and they all entered. So it was Ibrahim Chata, Kolawole Ajemi, and two other men that were with them, you know, whom I had greeted as well. And he had told, oh, come on, let's go. So I had 4 grown men, 2 of them celebrities, in our hotel room. This was probably a few minutes to 9 p.m. at this point, you know. So they entered and then they greeted my husband. Like the way he greeted Tosin, you would have thought that they've known each other for years. And then he greeted Nimi as well, played with Nimi. And then we're talking about how, you know, how long I'd like... Okay, let me put the video. Let me put the video here and then I'll come back.
One of my colleagues, Taleni, you know?
Balaji.
Ogumala, Balaji Ogumala, yes. Our new set, Ilesha. So Bajina said, let me look at no. Then our fans come out and want him follow you. I just followed you. One of us is like, where's your husband and your son?
Yes, that was the first way he said. He said he saw a reel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My sister is going to and also if you didn't too, so I know you have a boy. So what the page you like?
Yeah, I saw it. So I was not like, see, like I've been talking about it. Don't even come with your bathroom. Right from when I was small, whenever we watch films, mommy, money, kamati power, I'm our credit. Yes, so that was what film. But as Timothy was one favorite actor. Right.
That's your spoon. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello.
Collected. Mimi, say thank you.
Say thank you.
So guys, I call fan minute. My bolo way. What for Indian I follow you.
Oh,
amen. Thank you. Amen. 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 Yeah, good to meet you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay. So alright.
So very entertaining.
What's your mind? He's your OT, use more. Okay, so I should just take a picture, Abby. I should just take a picture. Or the video?
It's a video right now.
Yeah, it's a video right now.
Change it to picture. Okay,
alright, that's fine, okay.
I don't go fan girl over a lot of celebrities because I'm just like, okay, but there are a few that I just have the utmost level of respect and admiration for, and he's up there on that list, you know. So I was so nervous, I was so excited. I was just like, I just could not believe that just 4 days ago we had this interaction in Instagram, and then 4 days later, not even in Lagos, Nigeria, in Akure, you know, we're ending up at the same hotel, and I'm running into him, you know, just like that. And then, you know, we chatted, we talked about, so in the video we're talking about how long I'd been following him, how long I'd been following his career, how much of a fan I am. And then he told Kolawole Ajayemi at some point that about how he found me and how much he appreciated me. In fact, I saw a video I did of him 10 years ago. Yes, talking about his performances in the movie and everything. And Kolawole Ajayemi was just in awe, and he was just like amazed. And he was just saying, wow, wow, wow. So it was just, Tosin was laughing, and then we all just stood throughout. We just stood, we're talking, and then at the end of the day, he started to pray. He started to pray like in Yoruba, and you know there are some prayers in Yoruba that are very, very deep, very heartfelt. You know, that was like, it was heartfelt, the prayers. Started to pray, prayed for Nimi, prayed for us. I mean, and then after we took pictures, you know, he said, you know, we greeted each other, and then he left, and I was on cloud 9 that night, because I just couldn't believe it happened. And then I couldn't believe how nice, how kind, how warm they all were towards us. You know, it wasn't like we had met before, or, you know, I'd given them money or anything like that. I really, really appreciated them that night even more. And, you know, I was telling Kolawole Ajayemi that I'm Mommy Ire's fan, I'm Toyin's fan, please tell her I said hi. You know, and he was like, and my husband was saying like, oh, Miss Ire. I said, no, Daddy Ire, Ati Mommy Ire. And everybody laughed and everything. It was a good night. It was fun. That doesn't happen. It just doesn't. When I told my friend Bolaji, it was my friend Bolaji, when I told Bolaji that you would not believe who I ran into, and I told her, she was like, how? You know, because it just doesn't happen. And I guess that goes to show that when God orchestrates certain things, you know, it will just blow your mind. It will break all barriers and all boundaries, and it will just happen, you know, because the ways of God are not the ways of man. Now I'm turning this into a preaching moment, but hey, you know, it's a learning moment for all of us. Have you ever met a celebrity? Have you, whether they were rude to you, whether they were nice to you, I want to know. Have you ever met a celebrity? Please tell me down in the comment section, okay? And if you have never met a celebrity, but you're dreaming of meeting a celebrity one day, who is that celebrity? You know, let me know in the comment section as well. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. I can't wait to see you again very, very soon. I pray God blesses you, your homes, your marriages, your relationships. Most importantly, I pray God blesses you. Remain in God, and God bless you. Mwah. Bye.